Hey everybody, welcome back.
Hey.
We're back. We're doing Tea Monday again, and I'm Phil still, and that's Rob still.
Still.
Yep, still nothing's changed, except for our hodl bags have decreased in value just ever so slightly. But that's cool. That's cool. We can use that for our advantage, I suppose. But yeah, I don't know. Tomorrow or today for us, I think.
Today, morning
Yeah,
time.
tomorrow morning. Yes, we have the Hong Kong Bitcoin ETFs going live. I'm not actually sure. I suppose it's going to be when their market opens, right?
Yes.
That would be. Is that so? It's 8:30 in the morning for them, right?
8:30 or 9:30. Hang on, let me get the sessions up.
Yeah, I should have set my watch to the second time zone to Hong Kong. Actually, now that I think of it, but I didn't because I don't know. I'm lazy. Oh, hi Silvio, by the way, and good on you, account for buying Himalayan salt for your gym sessions. GG's.
GG's.
GG's. But yeah, either way, we are kind of expecting some uppies.
I think so. Overall, it's getting very boring.
Yeah, I'll put my thing on the screen here.
Don't put your thing on the screen.
I'm putting my thing on the screen. If you guys remember, last time we streamed, we had, I think was it on Friday? We pulled this line right here, and now that's kind of failed, obviously. Just pulled that one later on. We had a little bit of a fail against that now, but the trend is kind of, the 4-hourly trend is kind of holding up for now. We talked about this just before we started, and we couldn't really agree on what we think is going to happen. Because Rob is a bit more zoomed in. He's looking for more. He's front running the bounds on the 4-hourly, so to speak. And I'm not willing to take that risk personally, but that's me.
Yeah, I'm not so much front running. I'm already in a position. I already scaled in. Average price around 64. Yeah, okay, bit of a loss. Meh, so what?
For now.
So. Yeah, exactly. For now, and it's more overall that it's kind of seeing that exhaustion, and I'm not seeing any particular signs that this is going to just suddenly cannon down. It can do. I think if we're going to drop significantly further, it's going to be macro-led. End of the day, if the stock market decides to fall off a cliff tomorrow, then we're going to go with it, and that's kind of not, that there's no doubt that we are still pretty highly correlated to the stock market, and despite the fact that we've been, moving in an exponential rally as Bitcoin does when it does Bitcoin things. So is the stock market. So is everything else. So the idea that we just, let me just put the stock market up on my screen, and then if I put the Bitcoin price on.
Let me share your thing. There you go. Yeah.
So, okay, lines and lines. I mean, this is going back to the start of the year. Very clear trend overall, and actually the stock market is kind of in an uptrend ahead of Bitcoin. So maybe it's quite rare that I find the stock market front runs Bitcoin. Normally Bitcoin front runs the stock market. That's certainly been the case if you zoom out to the daily and put you on the log scale to make it fair. And yeah, log scale for you as well. So yeah, like we see the overall cycle pattern is up. It's up, and right now the stock market has had a big tumble. as well, relatively big tumble. It is a big tumble in macro world. In our world, from the close to close, it was 5.7%. Great. Okay. But that's a big deal. When it's that still equals, I don't know, a trillion or so dollars of value wiped. That's still Bitcoin's market cap wiped off the face of the earth in value. So you've got to consider that. It is a big deal. And either this is an asymmetric drive down where the rest of the market's going to carry on melting up, and Bitcoin's just having one last liquidity grab before maybe an absolute ton of buy pressure comes in the very near future. Maybe.
Yeah. What could cause
what
that?
Could that be? We'll have to see what the volumes are like. I've got two predictions that the volume's either going to be absolutely mesmeric or it's going to be absolutely horrible and just nothing. So. Yeah.
Something like that.
Something like that. I don't think it's got. I don't think this is a. Like, I don't know. This really is a bit of an unknown. I've seen a lot of predictions. Some saying the volumes are going to be higher on the first day or week than the US ETFs. Other ones. Yeah, like exactly. That's is it?
Nah. No, it's the talk has been like the Hong Kong ETFs are for people with residence permits in Hong Kong, right? So it's not all of China, right? No. Yes, there's a lot of money in China and there's a lot of money in Hong Kong too, but it's a lot of people online I see on Twitter and things, they're talking about, all of China's wealth is going to pump into Bitcoin. And I'm like, no. It's going to put extra buy pressure and more of it's going to put more bids on the chart, on the order book. Sorry. Hi, Dave. And, just like the Bitcoin ETFs in the States did, it put a lot of buy pressure on the market. And then, we had a big move up. Maybe that was led by the ETFs, but I'm not so sure that's going to happen with the Hong Kong ETFs. And yes, David, I see you're saying it's around 300 million for the first week, they say. I don't really trust I mean, sure. Yeah, it could be. We'll see what we'll see. Next week, this week is going to be interesting. It's going to be fun to see what's going to go on. It's fun that they're actually dropping it on a Tuesday. I'm not sure why that is, not on a Monday. Kind of random day there.
Yep.
But yeah, it seems to be. I think it's not just Bitcoin ETFs. It's an ETH ETF as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Which would explain why ETH has been quite clearly sort of uptrending.
Yeah.
Whereas Bitcoin has been lagging and in a very clear downtrend. ETH's not been in a uptrend, shall we say? Mm-hmm. But if we look at ETH BTC, let me just get rid of you. Go back to that chart. Yeah. Then it's been pretty horrible. It's a pretty ugly chart.
What is that? That is a big blob.
This is not doing good, I think. That is... well, that is nearly 2 years of downtrend at this point, ETH BTC.
So ETH been losing versus Bitcoin for 2 years.
ETH has been losing versus Bitcoin. But since the
broken, all the lines are kind of broken. I mean,
pretty much.
Like it's ignoring it, kind of.
Let's zoom out. If we zoom out here, like that trend... I mean, that trend break for ETH BTC is not good. That's and still trending down. Yeah. But an ETF, ETH is smaller than Bitcoin. It's been on a downtrend for quite a bit of time. But if you look at the ETH USDT chart, whereas since the 20th of June 2022, it's gone absolutely terribly, really. It's only pretty much tripled from the lows. So a 3x in crypto terms is not good. I know I've got a lot of lines there because
Yeah, I was just about to
Yeah.
say, dang, bro, that's a lot of lines.
this is a chart I don't look at very often.
Same here. I've replaced my ETH chart
Yeah.
with the Solana chart. To be fair, I mean,
Basically
who
the
hasn't at
same.
this point? I'm not even kidding.
I mean, if they say we looked at, I don't know when we looked at it, but even when I drew these lines, I don't know why. Maybe it was the last time maybe that was the last time we were talking about it, and I've only looked at it about once or twice since it was up at this range.
Yeah.
And yeah, I drew this box, I don't know, a month ago. It worked. It resisted.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's whereas Bitcoins are now making lower lows than it did there, ETH making higher lows. So ETH is uptrending.
Yeah.
Just
He's been doing pretty well here in the last couple of week and a half or so.
And I would assume this is why, because
probably
this ETF hasn't been may not be seeded anywhere near as much. We don't know what the status of the ETH ETFs are in the US. They will be seeded at some point, and yeah, it did have a decent run up. It ran up, after disappointing all year. It ran from 2,000 to 4,000. That's not a small jump for ETH.
No, that's a big take.
Yeah, and then it pulled back. It did a normal ETH pullback of 30 or so percent. Yeah, bang on.
Yep.
So Bitcoin does 20%, ETH does 30%. What did Solana do? Anything close to 40% by any chance? 43.
I checked it like 3 minutes ago.
So yeah,
that wick is
just
43.
Yeah, roughly. Yeah. So yeah, this is volatility. This is size. Let's go a step lower. I don't know.
Pith.
What did Matic do? So Matic being a step smaller than Solana did 54%.
Yeah, I think Solana did like a 77%. I think Pith actually held up better than Matic.
Yeah, I'm not going to count Nasana because of the percentage rise that it did. Even
no, it's crazy.
That could have a 95% pullback and still be bullish as hell.
2,000% up. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, Pith, meanwhile, 58%. Yeah, similar, but Pith hasn't finished dumping yet. So.
No, I don't. I think a lot of altcoins have not really finished Solana, because they're kind of bleeding right now. And I think what's holding ETH up, like you said, is the ETF, maybe. And I think Bitcoin, which was what I was going to get to when we started, but I never got to it. But Bitcoin is just following this 4-hourly trend right now. I've been looking at Bitcoin on the 4-hourly time frame for the past, I don't know, ever since over here somewhere, because as you can see with the Bollinger Midline here, the orange one, it's been playing that, not here, but it's been playing it much more than anything else, bouncing on it, staying above it, and each trend is above or below that pretty harsh, as you can see here. And now we're kind of just waiting for this to break up again from here. And if that does it like it did here, with a higher low like that, if this is where the bottom is going to be, then that's going to be good, because then we've got a good chance of breaking out from this trend line, and we've got a good chance of breaking out of this super trend, which is right here. And I'm actually using our multi-tool right now, that we haven't actually made available yet, because actually maybe we should touch on this, Rob. TradingView has given us some pointers. We've published we published 3 of our indicators. We put our descriptions in that we thought were really good, and then they kind of removed them from view and told us that we need to put in a more detailed description than we have, and so we need to do that. But we're waiting for a response from them to tell us if we need to republish the whole thing from scratch, or if we can just edit, because there's no edit button, you guys. So yeah, we're trying to talk to them. So please, we're not going to try to release the we're gonna try to fix these 3 that we've already dropped, so we can actually have them available because they still work for you guys who have access, but they
can't add
will be
anyone
removing
else
them.
at the moment.
Yeah, we can't
Yeah.
add anybody else to it yet, so we need to fix that before we start putting out the other ones.
Teething problems, but we'll get there.
There's always something in the way.
Yeah.
Just let us publish our stuff, bruh. Come on.
Yeah.
They want us to make sure that it brings value to the community, and we're like, sorry, it's bringing value to our community.
Well, yeah.
So
that's also part of the conditions are that that we can have public and private scripts, so you can publish a script privately and make it invite only, so it doesn't show up on the public domain. However, they say if you want to basically sell your strategies in any way, and given that we have it on a membership, they have to be public, otherwise they'll just permaban you. So
yeah,
I mean,
no
it's
permaban
fine.
for us.
Let's say we don't want to be permabanned, so that's fine. We will comply and add more detail. It's just a bit frustrating not to be able to do it and say, "Hi, is this good enough?"
Yeah, so you need to add an so a trading view. If any of you Pine script, what are they called again? The Pine script moderators.
I think it's called Pine Coders.
Pine Coders, yes. If any of you are watching, please have them add an edit button. That would be nice, and then the process would be much simpler. Thank you. Anyway, yeah. So I'm waiting for the 4 hourly to break up. I want to confirm that. Right now, it's looking like it's getting stuck under that Bollinger right there. Actually, zooming just a tad. It seems like it's not showing that well. And then we got the super trend and the trend line here. So yeah, kind of just waiting. Looking at the daily, RSI is still kind of bearish down here. We'll see. I mean, worst case scenario for me is like, yeah, we might have to touch this trend line right here. I don't think that's gonna happen though, because like I said, ETFs coming out and constant bid and more buy pressure will probably move prices.
Like
maybe not instantly, but
so we have to see, for starters, we have to think how much have they seeded already. So if they've bought Bitcoin, if they've already got that in there, they may not need to buy any for a week or two, depending on what the interest is. But the fact that we've had pretty much 2 months of downtrend, is it nearly 3 months of downtrend at this point? 2 months. 6 weeks, 2 months of downtrend ish.
47 days.
47 days. Okay, month and a half. It's it's not like we're heading vertically upwards anymore. So when we talked about this just before the stream, when the US ETF launched, we just gone all the way up, in a fairly straight line from 20, like mid-20s, 25k. So
25, 26, we had a trend, and then we got stuck under that trend line, if you remember.
But it was still clear up.
Yes.
ETF launch dump. But at that point, everyone was gig along going into the ETF. And so it opened up, boom, big short squeeze. Right now, and we keep mentioning it, I'm looking at funding rates. Funding rates are neutral right now, which is, I wanted to see them bearish. They were bearish yesterday, which made me stay in my long. It then went and came even lower today. Bit annoying, but not the end of the world. And I'm looking at it now and I'm going, funding rate's neutral. Okay, people are longing. Okay, that's a bad thing. Long squeeze. It's like, but no, wait. If there is some genuine volume on this ETF, and even if it doesn't have to be huge, a few thousand Bitcoin in a week, in the first week or two, it still starts adding bid into what is a pretty bearishly exhausted trend. Like if something comes along, if the stock market decides it's going to collapse 5% tomorrow, Bitcoin's going to go down. It's going to fall off a cliff, and all the people who are longs get liquidated, get liquidated, ourselves included, and all the people who are shorts feel like geniuses for a while longer. Great. Those shorts have to close their shorts at some point. And if macro doesn't pop, and as we said, macro is actually leading us into an uptrend as it stands, while Bitcoin's still bearish. So I'm looking at it going, is this just a nice big fake out? And then when a little bit of buy volume on the spot market actually comes in, the price starts to move up, and then suddenly it doesn't take a lot of volume for those shorts to suddenly be in a hole. And at that point, they then have that decision: do they close their shorts now, or do they double down? Guess what?
Well,
they always double down. They always double down. They keep
Mhm.
adding, they keep adding, they go bigger, they go 3x, 4x, 5x, 10x, and then they get kaput. So if we see a bit of volume, Bitcoin go up, number go up is
Yeah.
if we see sustained buy pressure, and hopefully this ETF brings it, it won't be the same as the US, but
It still
very
it
well.
adds to the pressure of the
Yes.
American ETFs. And I mean, if you really look at the whole thing, right? We have the halving has occurred, not a huge difference in terms of like short term, but yes, there's less Bitcoin coming to market from that aspect, so that's good. We have the American ETFs still buying. We still have we have a lot of buy pressure still from the American ETF, except for GBTC, who is still dumping because people don't want to hold that because the fees are 10 times higher than they are on BlackRock's or whatever. Okay, and then we have these ETFs coming out, so we're gonna have that supply shock that we've been talking about for the past like 3 years in preparation for the halving event. Overall, just as a general like place to aim for. This year will probably we're probably going to start noticing that supply shock coming in first slowly, and then suddenly, right? Maybe not like that, but certainly the supply shock is incoming. And please just realize that the supply shock doesn't mean, oh, God candle to 100K in one day. That's not what supply shock means. What it means is that people that want Bitcoin are going to have to scramble and try to find somewhere to buy Bitcoin where there is Bitcoin for sale, especially big buyers that want to buy. You know, we talk about Mr. 100. He's buying hundreds of Bitcoins every day, basically, on average. And it's like, where's he going to be buying? Where's this person going to be buying Bitcoin when the order book is so thin that there's not even 100 for sale in a day? There will be, but
where
100
takes the price up $100, and it takes it up $100, and then there's no more Bitcoin to sell to push it back down. So the order book gets filled from underneath rather than pushed back down. And then that is where you start getting this staircase stepping upwards of support. We're not seeing it yet. We've been hoping to see it. We've seen signs. Okay, so short term, nope, dump. And as I said, it's gone online with macro. So until macro turns around, and guess what? Macro is in an uptrend. So I'm for that reason, I'm looking at it for what it is. I do think this is probably the bottom. I hope it is. And as I say, you're more on the fence. I'm saying I think I could well be wrong.
Can I show my argument for potentially some 2 weeks more of boring?
I accept your argument. You can show it, please do. But I already do accept it as a possibility. But
I'm asking the chat right now. Should Rob and I meet up again? We met up last summer here in Sweden. Maybe we should meet up again and have a sword fight to see who wins, and then we use that person's prediction.
Now?
Not now. Not today, but we should for a longer term prediction. Never mind. Right. Here we go. So here's the weekly on Bitcoin. And I currently have the Bollinger Band and the Super Trend on, and the RSI through the multi-tool. And I'm not going to use the exponential moving averages, but I'll put that on the daily. But so here we are. I mean, we are still trending up. We're still above on the weekly. It's all good. But sometimes, as you see here, we want to reset it into it. And we're still resetting into the Bollinger Band here. The RSI has done this before. You see that little boop in under 70. That's currently where we are right now. is this going to be enough? What I don't want to see is Bitcoin doing something like coming down to the Bollinger at say 60 again in 2 weeks time or 3 weeks time, and then kind of coming up and double topping on the weekly. That's when I'm going to start saying, okay, maybe we do need a much bigger correction. And actually, we just got this question from I'm going to bring this up right now. You told me there's about something that's better than the RSI, and what was it? Well, we have a tool that Rob made that is very good, and this is one of the ones that are released. And I think you have access to this. I'm gonna have to hide your question here, but here's the weekly on
step line. Unpublished version.
It was unpublished version. Hold on. let me fix before we pass out.
It's
okay.
Hardly any difference, but
I'm gonna move this into the BLX though. So here we go. Here's the BLX on the weekly, and here's the bullishness index. We see how it's been bouncing.
Worst zoomed in chart ever. Fix that immediately.
Oh, let's just do this. Let's hide that.
Yes. Oh my god.
I'm looking at the bullishness index. Who cares about the chart? No, but so this one for this is the bullishness index, and I don't know how many drawings we have here. Okay. Doesn't look very pretty, but I'll just do this. We have a peak right here. Perfect peak. Nice bottom here. That's the bear market. That's on the neutral on the weekly right here. Peak right here. Bottom. Kind of not perfect, but still in a dip, so that's good. And then we peaked out right here, kind of flatlined for these two peaks. And then bear market bottom essentially there, right here on the bullishness index. We had a little bit of a nice bullish move there. Then we had a dip right before the big trend started. And this is working pretty well, I would have to say. I mean, looking at the daily, for example, which I think, for me at least, works better. I'm just going to do this for the two bear markets. There we go. So we've had, here's bottomed out. Right here, bear market bottom, big dip, bear market bottom. Here's an anomaly. This is what I call an anomaly. That's the COVID crash.
It didn't have time to react.
Yeah, it didn't have time to react to these big black swan events. But essentially, good buying opportunity. But this is much slower moving than the RSI too.
One thing to consider is it didn't freak out like the RSI did during the COVID crash. It was like, sorry, just chill. But yeah, no, it's pretty. I like it. It's still.
So the argument, I guess, is it going to bounce in neutral here and then move up, or is it going to have to come all the way down? That's kind of the question for me.
Yeah. So typically, so basically, if you think how this works, it takes quite a lot of indicators, a few that you'd think of, a few that you wouldn't think of. So the RSI is in there, the MACD's in there, the statistics in there, and it just looks at a lot of different conditions, and it basically puts them together and builds them into one index that looks at how bullish that market is overall. And so as you are building momentum, things like the RSI, if they're coming down but they're making higher lows, the RSI is still in a bullish trend. So the contribution to the RSI will be still positive, and it'll be higher as that average of the RSI, say, goes up, as the RSI moves into bullish territory, and as all the indicators move up, and we enter the perma-bull phase, the sort of these euphoric blow-off tops happen when you see the line basically turning and going vertically in one direction, and at the point where you see a spike and then a collapse is basically a signal that all the indicators at that point have topped and have reversed and are now not showing the same hyper bullish signal that they were. So you see how well it's claimed that, like, called that top. It didn't get the one previously.
Let me put in where we got the lines.
Yeah. So I'm just pretty good on that one. It didn't get the ultimate top, but it still got a very good top.
Yeah, I mean, either way, getting out
It's-
here from a position that you might have bought down here at the red is not a bad trade overall. And this is not really made for that. This is made for telling you. I kind of look at this personally more as it's very risky to start getting in when we're up here.
So
And
okay,
it's
so
much
can I?
safer to start getting in when we're down here. That's
So
how
I'll
I
say
kind of use
what I
it.
describe it as.
Mhm.
I describe it as a technical version of the fear and greed index.
Yes, that's perfect.
That is what it is. So if you could just take technical indicators when every indicator, when the RSI is at 85, when the MACD is pointing upwards, when the stochastics at 100, that's not your buying opportunity.
Yeah.
But that's when people are buying, and so that's where you get everything go up, and then suddenly you get everything drop. You get the
Hence the
stochastic
name.
turnover. You get the MACD. It starts to go neutral. The RSI drops below overbought, and these all happen at once. And so yes, you suddenly get this drop of technical bullishness. So that's what it's built to do. We're still kind of, it's a bit interpretive. So look at how it works. I think now that you're on the daily, maybe just go back to 2022, because that's a perfect example of
right here.
So showing how it works is, you see the blow off top, the peak on the indicator at 90 was in 2020. It was all the way down before 20k. So okay, you say, this is crap. It didn't call the top. Well, what it did was tell you that you were entering, the euphoria period had kind of hit. Hello, you're in euphoria, and as you keep charting up, and this indicator is coming down, 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 it's saying, guys, the momentum's dying. And it's not just the momentum of the RSI or the MACD, the cumulative momentum of multiple indicators across this period are all resetting, and you
a
get
bunch
to
of
the end
moving
of the
averages
year.
too.
Yeah, and you get to the end of the year, and you've made a new all-time high, and there's no momentum. And that peak in 2022 was a free money blow off top. That was before we had a bear market in literally everything. So it did show perfectly the momentum was not there for this dip. And so kind of conversely, when you see it going sky high and rolling over, that's a sell signal. When you see the price going sky high and the indicator's barely moving, is also not necessarily a sell signal, but it's a warning signal. And if you combine it, if you look at the context of it by looking at all the other indicators, don't just look at this on its own. Understand.
Of course not.
Understand that. Yes, it's you look at it and you go, oh yeah, all the indicators are pointing upwards. Of course, it's going sky high on the bullishness, and this will be hopefully available soon if TradingView unlock it. And
it already works for 4 people that managed to get on the list when we published it.
All of our members can use it currently.
All of our strategist members or founding members, you can this on your list. Just search for Crypto Talks Bullishness Index. You have received an invite in your notifications on TradingView, so you should be able to open this up and use it. And this is something that I think is intended mostly to be used on the daily, but it kind of works on everything. But it's more of a long-term thing.
And it's like let's zoom in a bit.
Let's go for 4 hours.
Oh, I was thinking like 15 minutes, but okay, if you want to be,
we can do 4 hours first, since we're already looking at all the.
I mean, here you can see is that worsening. We're grinding down on those indicators, getting towards, towards that red line, which is, your red line's, that needs inverting as well. It's a green. The green line is
upside down.
This is
the alpha version.
Yeah, it's getting kind of close to that region where you're going. If this is a bull market, are you really waiting for it to get all the way down to the red? Because when was the last time it got into the red on the 4 hour?
Miles back. It was all the way back over here.
Auto scale, sir. Auto
Yeah,
scale.
I know. I'm tired. Okay, just leave me alone. It was down. It was down here, and that was the only time since the bear market bottom that actually happened.
So that was obviously an exquisite buying opportunity, but it wasn't the only good buying opportunity. And historically, on the 4 hour, if this is a bull market, and say there's no guarantee, the stock market's not just going to roll over tomorrow. It's all over. Job cuts, recession, real estate crash, it all goes to zero. Maybe that's tomorrow. But until it happens, we're going to assume it's not. And
I mean,
if this, say, as I mentioned, we're lockstep in the stock market. The stock market looked like it's put in at least a short-term bottom and is now uptrending. Bitcoin is looking at pretty oversold in a lot of ways. I am very open to a flush down. I'm always open to a flush down in Bitcoin. Don't ever assume that can't happen. Like a stupid wick to 58, and then we wake up tomorrow or Wednesday, and it's like 67. Yeah, absolutely.
Sure.
That's perfectly normal. I'm not going to stake my reputation on it. Yes, okay, I could be wrong. Sometimes I'm wrong, but I'm looking at this going, yeah, I feel like it's going up from here.
Yeah, if we go back to kind of the way that we try to phrase ourselves for people that are maybe less experienced or maybe completely new to the space and everything, and there are people in this chat that know exactly what I mean by that. We always keep talking about buying some ranges, buying opportunities. It's not about buying the perfect bottom or the perfect this and that. It's about buying. You locate a good buying opportunity and you get some. That's kind of the idea, especially if you're looking at long-term stuff. So, I mean, just look at the 4-hourly like this. If you would have waited for all this and just bought now down here, that's a good opportunity according to this, for example. But that's one indicator. If you would have used, this range that we had, I think somewhere around here we had this range pulled out. We said if you buy bottom 10-20% of this range when it's doing this, and then it still goes down, you've still accumulated really good bottom in an entire range, which objectively is a good thing because it could turn down, but it could also turn up. And if it turns down from here, okay, bummer, hold it longer. Right? But if it comes up from here, you're like, oh, thank you. Yeah. Instead of just waiting for everything to reset exactly to where you want it to be. It's like that. It's very difficult to hit perfect buy orders. I can't do that. Rob, you certainly can't do that either. I mean,
I'm terrible.
You managed so far in this entire trend. I've managed twice to get like a perfect bottom buy for my trading portfolio. Yeah. And I think you pulled one really nice on Solana at 121 when it bottomed at 119.
Yeah,
that's so close to the bottom. That was
even now, say I hate myself for closing that. I hate the fact that I closed it because it was an absolute. And I looked at it and I'm being like, it was one of those. Before I looked at it, I looked at the liquidations and I was like, this is it. Wait, I'm just 30 seconds. Just let's wait to see if the bottom's in.
Yeah.
Dear Lord of Trading, profits be thy name.
Like that.
What
are you talking about me for?
Thy chart will be done. And so I just looked at it. I saw it trending up, and I went, right, okay, press pray, leverage the fuck up, and yes, I did hit. I did a fill and hit my high leverage because I looked at it and went, yep, that's exactly what I was looking for. So I slapped my leverage on, hit smash market buy, and it just immediately started, charting upwards. And I should have kept it open, but I'm a tool.
I'm just going to look at Solana real quick. I mean, that was down here, quite literally bottom of this wick, which is beautiful. Yeah. 121 right here. I think if I remember correctly, you kind of closed it somewhere around here.
140s, yeah.
148, I want to remember it being. Yeah. That's a heck of a trade, though. I mean, look, we're on that now, so it's all good.
I will. So, in fairness, I had got stopped a couple of times on the way down, so it was maybe.
Still.
Yeah.
That particular trade was a good trade, yes.
Yes.
So, okay, now that we're on Solana, just for the sake of doing something on Solana, Yeah, we're sitting around 136, which is that big. Oh, sorry, I thought I was on the daily, but I wasn't. That big support there, uh, which is kind of ignored, which is kind of annoying me. Just a tiny bit.
Is it ignoring it on the weekly though?
I don't think it is. Oh no! Oh, I did the thing.
Just,
yeah, the multi-tool is on. That's why the Bollinger does that.
just hide it.
Yeah, I should probably. There we go. So there we go. Yeah, it's kind of sitting on it. The red line is on the weekly close.
Again though, it's Monday, and
it is Monday.
It is Monday. I would look at that and go, "That's a hold of support." Sol BTC. Okay, I'm not putting much on that trend line as you've drawn.
There it is.
Yeah.
No, this trend line is old as heck.
I think you can redraw it, to be honest. So I think it was put it back.
Let's see, where can we pull it?
Well, just
I mean, it's all right.
You can just add it to the wicks where it is now. I think it'd line up fairly well.
I mean, yeah, it does there, but then the trend line becomes that short instead, which is
well then. Okay,
I'd rather just kill it. But no, this is the double top thing that I talked about earlier that I don't like to see. It's still in the range of this fib level right here, and it is still above. This is the weekly close for this range right here. We still have some ways to go there against Bitcoin at least, but
I would expect Solana. I would expect Solana to underperform this next phase. That is my expectation. Not necessarily versus Bitcoin. It could still, yeah. If Sol is the superish asset of this bull run, then yeah. At this point, this is a really big buy. Sol BTC looks good, and it's probably going to keep on flagging upwards until it breaks out for another leg. But is Sol ready? Sol has taken a little bit of a reputational hit that it had built up over the last couple of years, whereby, previous bull market, the kind of trope was, oh, it goes down all the time. Yeah, okay, it went down a few times because guess what? It was actually being used.
Yeah, congratulations.
Yeah,
it's a good problem to have, sort of.
It is a good problem to have for an early project. It's not a problem. It's something. It's not okay. It's not a problem if it can't be fixed. We then had like 2 years of stable operation, and then it started going wrong. Why? Overuse.
Yeah, everybody started using it.
Yeah. So
okay,
it's meh.
Yeah, well, either way, I mean, to be fair,
it can have a cool off. Bear in mind, a lot of people now are currently very, very, very wrecked on meme coins and utter dog shit in hats and ball sack wearing chins. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever. So a lot of people now are currently sitting on 90% losses on their meme coins, and it's some of that's not going to stop. That craziness is going to carry on, but it's not just going to snap back. People aren't just going to suddenly go back to rampant speculating because they just got burned. They're all going to sit there and go, never going to do that again.
Well, so what I was trying to say here for the past 5 minutes is Bitcoin is holding its range against Bitcoin. That's good.
Bitcoin is,
right?
Yeah.
It's holding its range against Bitcoin. Against ETH, it's still bullish in that range, sort of. It looks good against ETH. So Solana is doing well. I mean, yes, it dropped from 209 or whatever down to where it is now at 134. I mean, look at it. Does that really scare you after that?
It's proportional to the size of the rally.
Yeah,
that is
precisely. And it's the drop itself is was it 43% at the worst, and currently it's at 37%.
Cheap Sol.
Exactly. And we're still holding this range. So the range that I'm talking about here is this fib level or this little peak here, but I'm saying this fib level here, it's still holding that range even against the dollar. after a rally that was just disgusting, right? And so Solana's looking good overall, to be completely honest. And I'm gonna zoom back in here
As
on
it
Bitcoin
stands.
real quick. Yeah. What I was gonna say before we jump away from this is on Bitcoin here right now. It's kind of ignored the daily Bollinger for a long time, and I like to use the Bollinger to know what type of time frame trend we are in. Right? You can see very clearly together with the super trend. That's why I have Bollinger and super trend at the same time. You can see here with this exponential move, we were on the daily in an uptrend. It was using the Bollinger and the super trend as support on the way up. Pretty much, it was holding that range. If you zoom out into the 4 hourly, you'll see that it's going to be breaking that trend during that entire long uptrend. And so right now, we've been ignoring the daily right here since we flattened out on Bitcoin. And now we've actually, for the first time, kind of tested that trend on the daily. Even though we're still sitting on the 4 hourly, the trend on the daily has now failed and it's coming down, and it's looking maybe like with the ETF coming out tonight that we might be able to break out of this and start a daily uptrend again. So that might be the flip over to the daily uptrend again. I'm not saying it's going to go exponential, but it might start to play on the daily rather than the 4 hourly. We'll have to wait and see an entire where the 4 hourly breaks and if then the daily holds on top of that. And if that happens, then great. We're on a daily uptrend. That's much bigger moves before it actually fails. So that makes me happy. I would be happier if my white line was further down, because that's my average price entry for my long position, which is still in the bottom of the range, sort of, but couldn't it have been like 61 instead?
It could have if you'd have bought less.
Shh. Don't talk about my buying, bro.
Sorry, mine's
yes.
at 64, but at least mine's at support.
Yeah. We did get...
resistance.
I saw something that Ekan said here, and I'm going to flip us out to our faces here. Ekan is saying, it should not be bad if many people are using Solan equals question equals. I'm assuming that says Solana ? And overused is the next thing you said. So overused. Well, yes, what we mean by that, I'm just assuming that you're wondering kind of what we mean with overused. So let's compare Solana to ETH, for example, just real quick. ETH has about 500,000 users daily active users. This is a metric that we look at a lot. It's very important because if you don't have users, that means two things. Number one, no one is adopting your chain and no one is using it. And the reason to that is probably because there are no developers building anything of I guess, anything useful on that chain. So nobody wants to use anything, and nobody wants to build anything there because there's no one there to use it. And so we have things like ICP, cool technology, but no adoption, and devs are not interested at all. So nothing's going to get built. So there's not going to be any adoption, because why would people move to a chain where there's nothing to use the chain for? It doesn't make any sense. So then we get to Solana, for example. Solana has had a lot of devs getting pulled into the ecosystem because they look at the tech and they say, and I'm going to assume this is what they're thinking, but I'm putting myself in the head of a blockchain developer, and I say, where do I want to build my project? I have this cool idea. Where am I going to build it? Am I going to build it on ETH, or am I going to build it on Solana? Well, my project needs this and that much speed because we have high throughput, because we're going to do this and that or whatever. So most of those devs, they pick Solana because they understand that more people will be using a cheaper chain because it's cheaper to use. And if they have a lot of transactions going on within their project, they can't have something like ETH. They need something cheaper. So they go to Solana. And therefore, a lot of really great projects have been built on Solana, like Render, Python, Jupiter, especially Jupiter, Nosana, whatever, Shadow. These are projects that use a lot of transactions and that bring a lot of users into the blockchain, which it's built on. Hence, Solana gets overused with a shit ton of transactions. And that happened really quickly, especially when a lot of people came in. People started thinking, I want to make quick money. I want to buy meme coins. And then some meme coins like Bonk exploded. And people went, oh, meme coin season on Solana. And people that just want to create a shitcoin and then rug pull everybody started creating, basically click a button, create a token, pay $30 to create the token on Solana, get a wallet, start spreading it out and do PR for your shitcoin. And then a lot of people started using it. We have millions and millions of transactions per day on Solana's blockchain. I think we peaked at 2.6 million users in a day, daily active users, compared to ETH at the time, I think had like 450K. And ETH is the big gorilla, right? But still Solana was beating the crap out of it with this little stick, So it's a rat against a gorilla, and the rat was winning. And so, yeah, it got overused. Let's talk about DDoS attacks or whatever they're called. I'm not very technical with this stuff. I'm kind of dumb. But that's essentially what happened. Solana got used so harsh, and a lot of bots tried to push transactions through, and so it got plugged up. It happens, but they fixed that now.
If you want some really bullish news on ETH,
Sure.
the average transaction fee has gone down from $25 on the 11th of March to a measly $3.94 today.
Oh,
big bullishness.
Yeah, I like the fact that it's $3 to send a transaction on ETH in 10 minutes, but it's $0.00002 to send one on Solana in 0.4 seconds.
Yeah. So if we just taking a look at Solana's, it has gone down. Number of new addresses have gone from 1.25 million to 800,000, so they're down 30% in the last 2 months. We're always going to get those what you can see and dumps and everything. Well, if you look at active addresses, December, January, February were pretty standard, and then in March you had a step change: 38 million active users versus 20. Yep. That's when we talk about the hype cycles in altcoins are short. We're not joking, and that what you saw there, you saw literally a 3-4 week mini hype cycle on Solana.
Yep.
That's what you see, and then it stops. And so when you talk about value and looking at the charts, the fundamentals tell you a lot as well, because if the number of new addresses is cut by a third or two, then that's a third. That's 400,000 fewer people who aren't buying their first Solana this month.
Exactly.
And so that's a reduction of demand.
Yes, so Solana now. So what happened during this giga pump that Solana had during this craze with all the meme coins is people that want to buy meme coins, they go, oh crap, it's not listed against the dollar. I need to buy it with Solana. What do I need to do? I need to buy Solana. Solana pumps, right? People go in, they swap their Solana for a shitcoin. I don't know, dog with hat or cat with hat. I think I even got like $3 of that cat with hat thing sent to me for some reason. I don't know why. But so that's what happens. You go in and they buy up a bunch of Solana. Solana moves hard in price, which creates even more hype. People get in with more just to be able to use Solana to buy a bunch of shitcoins. I'm done soon, Rob. And then,
ouch.
And then what happens after that is once the shitcoin cycle is over, then Solana suddenly is priced at $209, and it has to revert back to the mean, which means it needs to come back down to where the fundamental value sits for the people that believe in it long term. Currently, it looks like it's 136, something or other, right? And if that's it, cool. But then suddenly there's going to be a bottom where no one is willing to sell their Solana anymore. And people are going to start saying, okay, it's bottomed out. I need to buy back my Solana. Right? It's just, it all makes sense when you think about it. Like the dynamics of the markets and psychology and all these things. So.
Yeah. So what I was just ouchieing at was having seen the number of new addresses of Solana at 40 million in March. seeing 112,000 for Polkadot.
Oof.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's an ouchie for Polkadot for sure.
Let's see, ETH. How many new wallets in the last new addresses last month? 3 million. So just to put that in perspective, 40 million for Solana, 3 million for ETH new wallets.
Yeah.
Yes, that's not 40 million new users. Be clear. I think in the last month alone, I made 4 Solana wallets. So it's that's not. But that also
just
goes.
It shows you user interest. Is what it does.
Yes, it shows that I have use for multiple wallets. I haven't made a new ETH wallet in years.
Yeah,
I have a couple.
I'll say this though, for ETH has some cool shit on it. Okay, fair. But I was forced 3 weeks ago to use ETH to extract Plutus tokens, and it was an absolute nightmare, and it took me 6 days to just get it out of my reward system onto my ETH wallet, and then from my ETH wallet to my KuCoin account so I could dump it and buy Solana with it.
Yeah.
6 days. And it didn't have a lot to do with ETH itself. It was more the project that was built on ETH, Plutus, which we used a lot before, and I think Rob, you still use it?
I still use
the thing. It was a good project, but they messed up the tokenomics, and they didn't think through the entire process of what would occur when they did what they did, and we just said, "Okay, bye," dropped it.
Yeah. So basically, to explain, so I'm still holding a few,
right,
and only because it's now dropped cheap, and these ones are now pretty much free, and I still get 5% on $1,000 a month, plus like 30 is it in perks. So yeah, I'm still making it's still better than crypto.com for that first 1,000. But they did, for a brief time, they basically pissed around with the tokenomics of it, then they pissed around again, and then they made them good, so we bought in and invested, and then they nerfed them. And when companies do that, that is a big red flag. It's a bit off topic there, but yeah.
No, it's good. It's good.
But still, if you just to get back on that, Bitcoin. Now, if you think of this this is a bit sort of backwards thinking, because whereas with ETH and Solana, you really want a high number of new wallets and transactions. Bitcoin, we don't really care about how many transactions are going on because we want Bitcoin to be stored. So, nevertheless, 3 million ETH new wallets, 40 million Solana new wallets. That makes sense. We expect new wallets for Solana a lot more than Bitcoin, but there were still 10 million new addresses so far this month for Bitcoin. And that really does show, say, ETH needs to have wallet generation at a much faster rate than Bitcoin does in order to maintain the same sort of value, because each wallet doesn't hold the same value or transact the same value. And yet Bitcoin is beating ETH's wallet count by a factor of 3. ETH at this point is really, really suffering and struggling to show why, for anything more than a sort of store of value narrative, which it has a bit of, but why would you want to store value in ETH over Bitcoin?
No reason.
And I would say the same goes for Solana. The only reason I would like to store value in Solana is because over the next few years, I think it will outpace. The end result will always be to go from Solana back into Bitcoin.
Yeah, I'm not storing anything in Solana. I'm buying Solana to make money so I can buy more Bitcoin with it.
To make Bitcoin, yeah. And we're speculating on the fact that on the long term, it's going to outpace Bitcoin on the medium term, it's going to outpace Bitcoin, but on the long term, I'm sure we'll keep some Solana. I don't think I'll ever sell it all, but
no, I won't. I'm using the chains. I need Solana first of all, but honestly, like, I look at it this way: Bitcoin is the savings account, and Solana is my main investment. It's as simple as that to me, really. And I think Solana is kind of like somebody who would, let's say in traditional finance, you would say, you save your wealth, you store your wealth in gold, and then you invest in Tesla stock to make money. that's kind of, Solana is my Tesla, right? That's sort of how I look at it. And I'm going to keep my Solana for a good amount of time, and I'm probably never dumping all of it, but I'm going to get out of my position a lot once we get to the peak. I did just realize I promised that we would look at the Tesla charts real quick before we end.
Okay, go on then.
Let me just bring up the chart that I want to look at. There we go. Yes. So, Yakan, this is for you. Here it is. I haven't looked at this chart. Yeah, it looks kind of like Bitcoin. This is the weekly though, and we've just had a move. We had a little bit of a dump there, downtrend on the weekly, and then we had this huge week. We bottomed out at 139, 138 something, and it pumped 42% in a week or two. So today it's up 14%. I saw it at 195, and I did talk about getting some at 140, but then I thought, you know what, if it goes deeper, I'll get some. But then it didn't go deeper, so I'm sad. But Tesla is looking good. I'm very bullish on Tesla, just as a company. Everything that they're doing, I think, is right up my alley, and I don't care if people say, "Oh, it's overvalued." I don't think it's overvalued at all. If anything, with everything that's coming in, it's hilariously undervalued, in my opinion, and that's me.
Can I disagree with both things?
Yes, of course you can. Of course.
No, I think that the problem Tesla has, and the reason the chart looks the way it does, I think, is global uncertainty. Is that Tesla is currently, as it stands, hyper reliant on an awful lot of things that maybe get a lot more difficult to acquire in the next few years. A lot of companies have that problem, but Tesla, to grow to the scale and deserve the valuation that they have, if the cost of lithium triples, quadruples, Tesla have a problem. Yeah, and there are multiple things where you're going, okay, yeah, their growth trajectory is excellent as long as they can grow at that trajectory. And it's been quite easy for the last 15 years to grow because we've lived in a world of money. The money's not so easy anymore. And yes, okay, Tesla have timed it to the point where they're starting to show revenues. It's still difficult to justify the valuation for the revenues they're posting. So that's a fact. And so if you are looking at it and going, and this is my thought of it, is quite simply, yes, I like Tesla. Yes, I like it for all the reasons you do. However, in terms of what's the risk, and I just see Tesla as having so many more risks than Bitcoin. Yeah, I see it having a very similar upside, or Bitcoin having a higher potential upside, in the sense that they're both already very large cap companies or entities.
Right.
So, yeah, I own two stocks. One of them's Tesla. So
yeah.
I do have I have Tesla. Let's not behave pretend that I'm not.
Aren't you getting a car soon?
Depends if I can afford it.
Yeah. So the thing for me is it comes down to one thing really, and it's winner takes all. And this is something we mentioned earlier in Discord today with Solana versus other blockchains.
I very much hope that given the other sectors that Tesla have, yes, there are multiple sectors, and that's it. Like the car sector.
Yeah, it's not a car company at all.
No, that's it. The car sector is kind of the one that I'm not bullish on, but care least about. I think it's probably
same here. Yeah, the car thing is just how they got all the money to do all the shit that they're currently putting together.
Exactly. So in terms of domination, do I think that they will dominate the car industry? No. I think they'll have time in the sun. They'll have a period where everybody
they're already dominating it.
They're not though. They
are they not?
Wait. Let's just wait and see what Chinese do.
Uh-huh. I'll
Um,
bet you
so
$10 I'm right.
yeah, but it's either way. So okay, when you say dominate, bear in mind they only make EVs. So every
Mhm.
single one of their cars is an EV. If you're
Yes.
someone like BMW, Mercedes, the bulk of your business hasn't transferred over to EVs yet.
No, they
So
tried, but then they shut it down because they can't catch
yeah, but
up
they,
to
well, no, that's
Tesla.
it. It doesn't, but it's irrelevant because they are going to, because the governments are going to make it essential. You know, they're going to ban fuel cars within the next
Yeah.
20 years. So either way, the trajectory is there, and the idea is that the prevailing thought is that the other car companies are stupid, and the simple fact of it is, I will be very, very upset if 50 or 60% of the cars driving around in 20 years' time are Teslas, because that would be the most bland, dull, uninspired, futuristic, iRobot nonsense
Yeah.
hellscape I could imagine. So
Well,
no, just logic is going to say people want to drive cars that don't look like fucking robots.
you're the only person that I know that think a Tesla is ugly. I'm a car nerd. Like, remember,
Either way, regardless,
I'm a car geek, and I think I hang out with these people that are massive car geeks. One of my friends is the European champion in front-wheel drag racing, for example.
Yeah.
He's like, I bought a Tesla. I'm like, okay, cool. He's like, yeah, it's fucking cool, man.
Yeah,
Okay.
He's
a petrol head. Look like he's bathing in oil. And he's like, I got a Tesla. I mean, to me, if Tesla can win over the giga car geeks,
Don't you think? Right. So either way, you know, being over to your own success, whereby something that becomes niche and becomes mainstream, and suddenly it becomes. There'll be a period where it becomes sexy to own a BMW again, because everyone's got a Tesla.
That brings us back. Tesla car company.
No, you're absolutely right. But say that. So yeah, that's why yes, but
They built the entire infrastructure. I think it was one. Oh gosh, I can't remember. General Motors are now putting Tesla charger thingies in their cars, and they've made a deal with Tesla that their GM cars can charge in Tesla's infrastructure.
Which makes perfect sense.
Yeah, and that's what I think Elon has really planned out. Like, he's built all the infrastructure, he's built all these mega packs for factories that can store electricity and data. And it's like, now we can't sell as many cars anymore because there's competition now, but we have the infrastructure. So
I will just laugh at the sheer irony of how kind of anti-corporate, the sort of the right-wing libertarians that utterly despise the monopoly that like Apple and Microsoft and Google have, not realizing that Elon fucking Musk is replacing their entire global infrastructure.
Yeah,
and is positioning himself as this demagogic overlord, and they're all cheering him, going, "Yay, Elon! At least I can be racist on Twitter now." It's like, this guy is taking over our entire world, and we're cheering it while it happens. It's funny.
Yeah, but I mean, as long as the
way,
stuff he produces works, I'm like, whatever.
Spoken like a true Swede.
Yeah, pretty much. Lilla landet lagom.
So right. Yeah, that was a bit of a segue, but
we need to round this
bullish
off.
On Tesla, bullish on Tesla, more bullish on Bitcoin. Tesla more risky than Bitcoin in my eyes.
This brings us to the article that I wrote about why crypto has better intrinsic value than stocks, because stocks can only purely be speculation, and you have no utility with stocks most of the time. So there's that. Okay, we need to get the hell out of here before we start fighting. No, I'm kidding. And yeah, we do need an agenda for our videos, David, but we end up talking about stuff, and people like to talk about things. We'll see you guys in Discord. You know the deal.
Can I just show one chart before we do leave, very quickly?
Sure. Here you go.
This is Tesla versus Bitcoin.
Yeah.
So is this a bullish chart to you? And ultimately, as what happens with most things, this chart tends to end up looking kind of like that over time.
Against Bitcoin, yeah.
Yeah. So
It's scarcity, man.
it is.
Yeah.
Just buy Bitcoin.
Yeah. Not financial advice, but buy Bitcoin. Right. We'll round this off, guys. We'll see you all in Discord. We know you know where we are. So we'll see you there. Make sure you like, subscribe, all that stuff if you haven't. And yeah. Cool.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.